Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, I'm Alison. If you guys are into fashion, beauty, lifestyle, foundation review, and hauls video, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and also click the ring bell button to get a notification whenever I upload a new video on my channel. So for today's video, we're reviewing this Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation. If you guys are interested how this would work on my oily and acne prone skin, then let's keep on watching. Okay, before we start on this foundation review, let's talk about the base, what I use for the primer. So first of all, I use my Becca Under Eye Brightener. This is the peach salmon color to cover my dark circle. You guys know the drill if you guys watch my foundation review. And this is something that I must put on every single time when I put on my makeup. And for primer today, I have this simple size Too Faced primer. This is their Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. Kind of give me back the moisture on the skin. Set a very nice, good, techy layer. Okay, so I did purchase my Sephora Best Skin Ever foundation in the shade 12Y, and I'm gonna pump it on the back of my hand. Pretty solid. It doesn't have that liquidy texture. But before that, I'm gonna put on a layer of concealer. You guys know I love putting on my concealer first to give me extra coverage. And now we're moving on to the foundation. I'm gonna apply it this side of my face to see how is the coverage compared to a bare skin. It doesn't give me much coverage, and my sponge kind of like absorb all the products. So it's buildable. You guys can see my acne is covered. Kind of like a moisturizer scent on this foundation. So I'm gonna look into the ingredients and see what they contains in the foundation to have this scent, or it's just a fragrance. So you guys can see it's a very natural finish on this on my face. It buildable, but it's still peeking through my redness on my acne compared to my bare skin on this on my face. So now I'm gonna do with another pump on my face and using a brush to see if it gives me a different. I'm using a Jaclyn Hill and Morphe sponge right here. Okay, while we're blending this in, let's talk about this foundation. So this foundation I purchased on Sephora.com and it retails for $20. Comes with 0.84 fluid ounce, which a typical foundation comes in 1 ounce, so it's just little than a 1 ounce of this foundation, and it comes in 50 shade range, which I'm really surprised because with their in-house foundation, they're able to make this much of the different shade range compared to other like bigger brands out there. So this is a medium coverage, natural finish foundation with a long-wearing anti-pollution formula that hydrates skin for up to 12 hours and is infused with skincare benefits. It is a medium coverage, natural finish, and liquid formula of the foundation. And this foundation, it claims to deliver a second skin effect and provides a lasting hydration while covering imperfection. Its formula is clinically shown to reduce signs of stress, fatigue, and usage over time improving to make skin smoother, more even, and more radiant. This bottle made from 30% recycled glass, which I like about the recycling of their products of the foundation. And the highlighted ingredients of this foundation is hyaluronic acid, which give you hydration, red algae extract, which also give you hydration, and a brown algae extract. It provides an anti-pollution protective shield, which this foundation claims to give you a lot of hydration back into the skin. And looking into the list of the ingredients, alcohol is pretty high up on this foundation ingredients. It's almost like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th. So it is on the 6 ingredients on the list with alcohol, and it also have certain type of oils. So I already talked about this in my other foundation review. I do break out with certain type of oil, especially mineral oils. And this foundation, it does come with sunflower seed oil. And I don't think I ever experienced anything allergy or anything on the skin with this type of oil. But usually I know with the hydration kind of foundation, it tends to contain certain type of oil to give you back the moisture feeling on the skin. Alright, so this is a 1 pump on each side of my face, and I would say using a brush compared to using a sponge is not much of a difference for me, because this foundation, it claims to be giving me a medium coverage, but I feel like it's more towards to the light coverage. So what I'm gonna do is giving an extra layer on the certain area that I need extra coverage just because I do have acne prone skin. But keep in mind my chin is always dry because I have this acne, like a serious acne going on, and I'm still trying to treat this area with all the product that I use. But I'm gonna give an extra coverage on the redness on the skin. So just keep in mind this foundation is more of a light coverage, and even though I build it up on this kind of like redness area on the skin with acne prone skin, it's still peeking through. And normally with this kind of foundation you wanna put an extra layer of concealer instead of building a lot more foundation on top if it doesn't work, just because concealer, it tends to give you a lot more coverage. So I would say this foundation is more of a light coverage, but it's definitely buildable because I have built it up, and you guys can see it doesn't clog up or give me that thick layer of foundation on top. It still looks like skin. So here's my first impression, and I feel like this foundation is very lightweight. It gives me very light coverage, and also it works nicely on the skin, but I'm not sure how the ingredients of the sunflower seed oil work through my skin, and I don't know how it works throughout the day for my oily and acne prone skin. So now I'm just gonna finish up my makeup, and I'll come back with you and check in if everything goes well with the makeup application. Alright guys, I'm back with a full face makeup on, and I did a very basic everyday makeup look today just because I don't feel like putting on a lot of layers of makeup. But I'm gonna give you guys my thought on how it layers on top. So my bronzer, my blush, everything else is layered very nicely on top. I don't have any issue with it. So my first impression on this foundation is, first off, everything lays very nicely. It's just the coverage is claimed to be medium, but I would say it's more of a light coverage for me. And also this foundation, it gives me a hydration, so I'm not sure how that works out with my oily skin later on. But looking into my skin, I feel like some certain area doesn't stay well, and I did set it with my loose setting powder just because I have oily skins, and I do this with a lot of my foundation review, and it usually just helps me with the oil control. So loose setting powder after it's set, and it still feels a little, just a very tiny tacky finish, but it's more like sink into the skin. So it just kind of feel like you put on very light moisturizer, but it's not super tacky, but it's not too dry. But I hope this foundation, it works well throughout the day. I just want to say around my mouth area, it doesn't stay put, it just enhances the skin and flare up. So this is my first impression on this foundation. I just like that it comes with the 50 shade range, and it is a recyclable bottle or made with recyclable materials. So I'm gonna wear this out through the day, and I'll check back in with you guys in a few hours later. Hey guys, I'm back for the final check-in, and I've been wearing this foundation for about 8 hours mark. I want to give you guys a quick feedback and my thoughts on this foundation and rating. So first off, you guys can see I do have a little shine go through, again because I do have oily skin, but this shine, I would say, is pretty mild. So I'm not as oily as I used to. So this foundation, it doesn't get me super oily. It's just a mild oily. And this is what it looks like after the oil mix with this foundation. So this foundation, I would say it's a very light coverage foundation. I wouldn't say it's a medium coverage. You guys can see my redness of my acne start peeking through after the oil come through, and same as the other side of my face. But with that being said, my blush, my contour is still on, my highlight is still on. It's just that the coverage of the foundation is slowly fading away. I'm not sure why. It could be because of the oil peeking through. But then again, if you guys have this kind of acne prone skin, you guys need the coverage. I feel like this is not for you. I feel like this foundation is for someone who has a good skin, doesn't need much coverage, and just want to have a good complexion on the skin. So I feel like this foundation is for those kind of people instead of my skin type and with my acne prone skin. But I would say this foundation is pretty light, but I can still feel like something is on top of my face, like the foundation is on top, but not as heavy as like a full coverage. But with a lot of drugstore foundation or the foundation that it gives me coverage, it kind of feel the same as this kind of coverage of a foundation. So definitely with this light of a coverage and the feeling on the foundation is not as light, I would just choose something that it works for my skin type with other foundation from drugstore or the foundation I have reviewed recently. It works a lot better. So I would say $30 for this Sephora brand foundation, I'm like okay with it. And I don't think this is for my skin type, especially I have oily skin, acne prone skin, I need the coverage. But I would say it will look really good if you guys have a good skin to start off with without this kind of redness. And if you guys just want a really basic everyday kind of makeup look foundation, kind of just balance out your complexion, I would say this is a foundation for you. So I feel like $20 for the foundation, it's pretty affordable. It's more towards to drugstore foundation price, and also it comes in 50 shade range, which is really good. Again, my shade is 21Y, which is a yellow skin tone, and it matches me pretty nice. I feel like it matched me perfectly, but it's just because of the very light coverage of foundation. I can't really tell, which also means the foundation shade, it matches me perfectly. But one thing I do want to mention, even though I was wearing my mask and I was blowing my nose, there's not much of a foundation it takes off around my nose area and on my chin area, which I really like about this foundation, because we do want a long-lasting foundation since we are wearing a face mask out the door. So I feel like this foundation, again, if you guys have good skin to start with, light coverage, and just need something to complexion your skin, and if you wear a face mask, I feel like this is a really good foundation for you. But I personally have something else that it works better on my skin type for my needs, for the coverage, and for my, again, skin type. So now it comes to rating on this foundation. I would rate this 7.5 out of 10. Because this foundation, don't get me wrong, it's a very nice foundation, but it just doesn't meet my criteria of what I need for my skin. So I feel like this is a really good foundation if you guys have good skin to start with. So that is all my foundation review today, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this video, and hope this video does help you guys out to get a little bit more details about this foundation and wear test. And also, if you guys like this kind of video, foundation review, make sure to subscribe down below, to follow my channel, and also give me a big thumbs up here to support me here, so I know you guys like this kind of video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.